You're restless. You can't settle. Nothing feels right. Everyone says meditate. You're skeptical. You're not sure it'll help. But here's the thing. So many people meditate. Buddhism has been around for such a long time. You think, well, there must be some truth to it. And that's why you turn to this video after all. I used to think peace came from outside too. My mother told me the restlessness was within me. I didn't believe her, but I was skeptical enough to try. And something shifted. Maybe you're like I was. Always looking ahead. Always planning the next thing. The next job. The next relationship. The next city. Thinking that's where happiness lives. You never sit still. And you never end up being happy. My mother would watch me pack for another trip, research another city to move to, talk about another career change, and she'd say the same thing every time. You'll find that happiness in yourself. And I'd think, yeah, right. How is that possible when I'm so unhappy right now? How do I find it within myself when everything inside feels wrong? The Buddhists described this 2,500 years ago. They called restlessness one of the 5 hindrances. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because it keeps you from being here. They said it's like water whipped by the wind, always moving, never still. That's exactly what it feels like, isn't it? Your mind can't land anywhere. It jumps from thought to thought, plan to plan, worry to worry. And here's what the Buddhists understood. Restlessness isn't about what's happening outside. It's about what's happening inside. You can have everything you think you want and still feel restless. You can be in the perfect city, have the perfect job, be with the perfect person, and still feel like something's missing. Because restlessness is looking for contentment out there, in the next thing, the next achievement, the next change. They said restlessness comes from not appreciating what's already here. We're so busy planning the future, we miss this moment. And this one, and this one. I didn't want to hear that. I wanted someone to tell me which city to move to, which career path would finally make me happy, which relationship would fix everything. But my mother kept saying it. The restlessness is within you. You'll take it with you wherever you go. And she was right. You know what restlessness does? It creates this false urgency. Like you have to move right now or you'll die. Like staying still is dangerous. Maybe you're planning a vacation because work is unbearable. You're scrolling through apartments in other cities because this place doesn't feel right. You're thinking about going back to school, starting a business, reinventing yourself. All of it might be good. All of it might be necessary. But the restlessness underneath, that doesn't go away when you move. It doesn't disappear when you get the new job. I learned this the hard way. I moved cities thinking I'd leave the restlessness behind. And for a few weeks, maybe a few months, it worked. Everything was new, exciting, different. Then the restlessness came back because it was never about the city. The Buddhists knew this. They said restlessness feeds on comparison, on always looking at what other people have, what you don't have yet, where you should be by now. Maybe it's not a trip you're planning. Maybe it's smaller. You're thinking about what you'll eat later, what show you'll watch, what you'll say to that person who annoyed you. The mind just keeps moving, like water whipped by the wind. Or maybe it's relationships. You're thinking about someone you need to text back, someone you're angry with, someone you miss. The restlessness jumps from person to person, situation to situation. It tells you that sitting still is wasting time, that you should be doing something productive, important, anything but just being here. And you believe it. So you never sit still, and you never end up being happy. Here's what's interesting. The Buddhists didn't know about the vagus nerve. They didn't have the science we have now. But somehow they knew that settling, that finding stillness inside, was tied to peace. They could feel it in their bodies. Now we know what it is. This one nerve, the vagus nerve, running from your brain down through your body. It controls your heart rate, your digestion, whether you feel calm or wired. When you're restless, your nervous system is activated. You're in fight or flight, even if there's nothing to fight or flee from. The Buddhists found ways to calm that system down through meditation, through breath, through just being still. They didn't call it the vagus nerve, but they knew. They knew that the body and the mind are connected, that you can't think your way out of restlessness. You have to feel your way through it. My mother knew this too. She didn't know the science either, but she knew that all my planning, all my moving, all my searching, it wasn't going to work. Not until I looked inside. So what changed? When did I finally believe her? It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't some big revelation. It was just exhaustion. I got tired of running, tired of planning, tired of thinking the next thing would fix everything. And one day, I just sat. Not because I believed it would work, but because I didn't know what else to do. The restlessness was still there, like water whipped by the wind. But I didn't move. I didn't make another plan. I just sat with it. And something shifted, just a little, just enough. The Buddhists talk about contentment. They say it's the opposite of restlessness, not because everything is perfect, but because you stop needing everything to be perfect. You stop needing to be somewhere else, to be someone else, to have something else. You're just here. And that's enough. My mother said I'd find happiness within myself. I thought she was crazy. How could I find it there when I was so unhappy? But the happiness wasn't something I had to create. It was already there, under all the restlessness, under all the planning and moving and searching. I just had to stop long enough to notice it. You might listen to this once and feel a little calmer, a little more settled, and you'll think, okay, that's done. I did it. But then tomorrow the restlessness comes back, and you realize this isn't something you do once. It's like eating, like exercise, like anything you practice to get good at. It's an everyday thing because you just lose it again. You're not yet still. And maybe you won't be for a long time, but that's okay. That's the practice.